This frigid realm of Antarctica remains mostly uncharted and pristine, an alien landscape that preserves secrets in extremes. Its ice sheets span 1.5 times the US's total area, harboring mysteries and marvels hidden for epochs. For decades, intrepid Russian scientists have challenged human limits to uncover Antarctica's secrets. From strange organisms to horrifying phenomena, join us as we reveal 15 terrifying discoveries made by Russian scientists in Antarctica. Number 15. Subterranean Lakes. Beneath Antarctica's vast icy expanse lies a hidden world of liquid water, kept from freezing by the immense pressure of the ice above. Scattered across the continent are over 400 subglacial lakes, plunged in perpetual darkness and isolated for millions of years. These enigmatic subsurface pools harbor unique ecosystems that continue to puzzle scientists. In the 1970s, radar surveys of Antarctica revealed anomalies hinting at lakes trapped under the ice. Since then, researchers have endeavored to study these extreme environments, seeking clues to Antarctic biodiversity and evolution. However, accessing the lakes poses immense logistical difficulties, requiring drilling rigs to penetrate ice over 2 miles thick. Undeterred, Russian scientists achieved a breakthrough in 1996 by reaching Lake Vostok, the largest known subglacial lake. Estimated to be 14 million years old and the size of Lake Ontario, Vostok offered tantalizing evidence of life enduring in deep freeze isolation. Microbes recovered from ice samples above the lake could have originated from a complex ecosystem hidden in its lightless waters. When drilling broke through to Lake Vostok in 2012, tests revealed thousands of unique gene sequences, suggesting complex organisms inhabit this sunless world. The lake may contain cold-loving extremophiles, using gases like methane for energy instead of photosynthesis. However, with drilling operations introducing contaminants, definitive proof of indigenous life remains elusive. Nevertheless, subglacial microbes raise concerns about more ancient Antarctic ice melts as the planet warms. Microorganisms emerging from cold storage after 400,000 years could revitalize potentially pathogenic strains. And melting glaciers themselves threaten to discharge industrial waste like pesticides and heavy metals, accumulated from decades of polar research, into Antarctica's pristine, ice-locked lakes. Despite Lake Vostok's record size, radar scans show even deeper lakes exist across the continent. Near Russia's Vostok research station, data indicates another gigantic lake dubbed Sovetskaya may extend 1.3 miles beneath the ice cap. Its round shape implies a meteorite impact site later flooded by meltwater, creating a buried polar sea. Far exceeding Vostok's scale, Sovetskaya could sustain an entire marine ecosystem. Meanwhile, above Lake Vostok itself, a strange oval anomaly the size of New Hampshire was spotted in satellite images where few earthly phenomena can disturb Antarctic ice. While some suggested UFOs or secret underground facilities as explanations, scientists proposed the 129-mile formation resulted from swirling wind vortex patterns accrued over millions of years. But definitive evidence remains absent. Number 14. Unusual creatures. The extreme cold, year-long darkness and oppressive isolation below Antarctic ice sheets and permafrost would seemingly allow little possibility for life. Yet surprisingly, vibrant and highly adapted creatures not only endure but thrive in this punishing environment. From Lake Vostok's mysterious microbes to transparent ice fish in offshore waters, to massive sea spiders under the Ross Ice Shelf, Antarctica nurtures ecosystems stranger than science fiction. In the sunless sea below Antarctica's ice plateaus, blind transparent crustaceans like the ice krill and ice amphipod, possessing built-in anti-freeze, populate the frigid blackness. Meanwhile, the nightmarish Antarctic scale worm survives on a diet of penguin's blood, storing iron crystals in its skin for warmth. Most shockingly, researchers accidentally filmed a shape-shifting squid near Ice Cube Neutrino Observatory that morphed its body in impossible ways when approached. The even harsher temperatures of East Antarctica's University Valley allow precious few organisms to endure. Only psychrophiles, or cold-loving microbes, can withstand the -22 degrees Fahrenheit climate. In contrast, The warmth beneath volcanoes like Mount Arabis incubates its bizarre life forms rarely encountered by humans, as climbers discovered when entering its caves in 2013. Further offshore, thriving in Antarctica's nutrition-rich waters, giant sea spiders spanning dinner plates lurk below the Ross ice shelf. And bizarre ice fish, with clear blood and huge eyes to see in the black depths, school by the millions, so abundant they cannot all rely on the same food source. What else is down there with them? As the Weddell Polynya and other expanding Antarctic gaps expose more seabed, how will their ecosystems adapt? Antarctica is revealing entirely new branches on the tree of life that raise profound questions. What defines extreme? Can life's tenacity know any bounds? Lake Vostok's residents, almost as old as mammals themselves, may represent Antarctica's warning that we trifle with planetary change at our peril. And if not, what new biological marvels or terrors wait in icy strata we've only begun to penetrate? Number 13. Enormous gap. In 2017, the endless icy surface of Antarctica ruptured as a gaping hole tore open in its frozen armor, measuring over 30,000 square miles. But this was no ordinary crevasse. It represented one of nature's most staggering phenomena, a rare Antarctic superpolynya. Equal in area to Wales, this colossal opening in the Weddell Sea ice rivals the largest polynya on record. Polynyas occur when warmer, nutrient-rich waters rise from the depths of Antarctica's frigid oceans and melt back the floating ice sheet. The polynya that appeared in 2017 resulted from a powerful seawater current flux losing warm water to contact the surface. At its peak extent, experts calculated Antarctica's huge new gap would drain heat energy equivalent to 1,000 times the world's annual electrical generating capacity if it persisted. Fortunately, the opening proved ephemeral. Yet worryingly, some models suggest rising planetary temperatures could make such fleeting polar flukes much more commonplace. What impacts might enormous recurring polynyas unleash across Antarctica? Scientists posit sea ice losses on this scale may significantly alter planetary albedo, decreasing the amount of solar radiation reflected into space. This could accelerate human-caused climate change through feedback loops. Intensified melting near Antarctica's glaciers could likewise speed up their seaward slide. Research teams are closely analyzing the 2017 polynyas for clues to refine projections. Unexpectedly, automated underwater gliders deploying to the opening discovered marine mammals like seals may use transient polynyas as breathing holes and foraging grounds. This hints at their crucial role in incubating life in the Southern Ocean's food web. Disturb this delicate balance, and rippling disruptions across Antarctic ecosystems could ensue. Number 12. Gamertv Mountains. Far below the desolate Antarctic ice plains, a hidden mountain range harbors a secret history. The Gamertv subglacial mountains, completely buried under over 2 miles of dense frozen water, stand taller than the European Alps with peaks exceeding 10,000 feet. Stretching 750 miles near Russia's Vostok Research Center, the icy crags evaded detection for decades before their sensational 1958 discovery. Mapped indirectly through seismic waves and gravity readings, the formidable Gamertvs mystified geophysicists. Over 100 million years old, the primordial range should have eroded to nothing long ago in Antarctica's harsh climate. Instead, the jagged giants endured, defying the relentless creep of ice grinding down the summits over eons. The mountain's inexplicable longevity sparked debate among experts. Proponents of radical geological theories suggested they comprised the frozen peaks of a lost southern supercontinent, or indicated Antarctica's ice cap was far younger than believed. But in 2013, an exhausted international expedition finally pieced together an explanation after trekking out to East Antarctica's interior. Using the latest subglacial mapping technology, they concluded that Gamertv peaks still stand thanks to the fortuitous Antarctic climate. Encased within a protective frozen shroud up to 2.5 miles thick, since Antarctica turned icy 35 million years ago, the range escaped water erosion wearing down exposed mountains elsewhere. The research also traced the mountain's origins back over 1 billion years using magnetic readings. They arose from ancient subduction zones rather than more recent volcanic activity, giving time for extensive erosion first. This left behind today's bare, rugged relief by the time advancing ice sheets arrived to shield the summits. Their findings also located a network of lakes and rivers flowing deep below the Gamertv, hinting at a dynamic hidden hydrological system regulating Antarctica's ice cap. Yet, as climate change accelerates, this finely balanced system is under threat. Early signs of Antarctic ice loss may appear first through changes in under-ice rivers like those surrounding the Gamertv Mountains. And if Antarctica's frozen Gamertv guardian finally fails, an ancient landscape last seen by dinosaurs may reemerge at incalculable cost. Number 11. Organism 46b. In the eternal darkness of Lake Vostok, far below Antarctica's icy surface, a monster is said to lurk, according to scattered reports while drilling through over 2 miles of solid ice. What Russian scientists discovered in Antarctica terrifies the whole world. They encountered a nightmarish creature in this subglacial underworld, the elusive organism 46b. But is this hostile entity fact or frozen fiction? Rumors speak of a giant primitive squid nearly 33 feet long with 14 prehensile limbs, displaying astonishing intelligence and an insatiable appetite. Witnesses described the predatory beast feasting on helpless seal carcasses after dragging researchers to their doom in its icy lair. They dubbed it Organism 46b, mimicking Moscow's experiments with dogs in space. If true, 46b would represent an entirely unknown species that adapted to tolerate Lake Vostok's oxygen-starved environment under intense pressures that mimic Europa's ocean. Some even suggest 46b hints at a reptilian lineage equaling dinosaurs in timescale continuity. Its venom supposedly carries a fast-acting neurotoxin chemists have failed to synthesize, but other evidence contradicts such dramatic accounts. Sonar scans show Lake Vostok's relatively modest size, only slightly exceeding the massive Loch Ness of similar monster myth. And despite Russia's general secrecy regarding Vostok studies, no disappearances or fatalities officially occurred during their Antarctic research. So does a primordial horror lurk beneath the ice cap? Or are reports of 46b more fiction than fact? Anything may be possible with over 400 subglacial Antarctic lakes and exotic ecosystems only beginning to reveal themselves. But unless new physical proof emerges of 46b, science must treat the creature as a cryptozoological legend, a fabled beast through which we express hopes and fears of Antarctica's unknown frontiers. Number 10. Meteorite from Mars. During a research expedition in 1984, an unassuming day took a remarkable turn when a small black meteorite, scarcely larger than a baseball, was discovered in Antarctica's pristine ice sheet near the Allen Hills. This celestial visitor, later named ALH 84001, unveiled its age of approximately 3.5 billion years. Notably, its mineral composition proved to be highly unusual, closely resembling soil samples from Mars examined by prior NASA Viking landers. As researchers delved deeper, they proposed a fascinating narrative. The meteorite was ejected from Mars due to an asteroid impact and journeyed across space before finding its final resting place on Earth. Most sensationally, examining the meteorite's cracks and pores under powerful microscopes exposed complex organic, globular, and elongated structures eerily resembling fossilized Martian bacteria. Certain scientists insist these microscopic shapes likely represent relic life signatures from an ancient, warmer, wetter Mars favorable for primitive organisms. However, others argue similarly. Odd shapes can also naturally form through geochemical mineral processes without biology. While the controversy continues today over the biogenic nature and extraterrestrial origin of these supposed Mars microfossils, the discovery profoundly impacted humanity's cosmic perspective. It served as the opening scientific salvo in an escalating barrage of revelations regarding potential prior Martian habitability that may one day return through terraforming. The profound astronomic odds that made this humble wanderer, Alan Hill's 84001, tumble onto Antarctic ice seems to whisper gently across the void. Life finds a way. Number 9. Arabis volcano. On Antarctica's remote Ross Island, a portal to the planet's molten heart billows without ceasing. Towering 12,500 feet amongst Earth's southernmost peaks, volatile Mount Arabis anchors this lonely dominion wreathed in smoke and flame. Since 1972, its lava lake has continuously churned out otherworldly phenomena like nowhere else. Yet more fantastical discoveries may still erupt from Arabis's unknown depths. Thanks to NASA's Operation Deep Freeze sustaining Antarctic bases like McMurdo Station, scientists regularly study Arabis volcano's eccentric behaviors. Gas bubbles popping on its lava lake surface eject small spatter explosions from the churning orange magma, hurling lava bombs onto the crater rim over 650 feet away. Researchers even roast holiday turkeys using Arabis's geothermal vents. But in December 2013, surprise scientific riches emerged after PhD students first summited Mount Arabis's interior. Entering ice caves dotting its flanks, they encountered steam vents fostering microbe communities thriving on chemical reactions from interior heat and gases. These extremophiles represent Earth's hardiest life forms and the solar system's best analogs for potential alien biology on icy moons like Jupiter's Europa. Arabis also holds cultural significance through legends of its namesake, the Greek god of darkness. Ancient mariners feared the active volcano's ash-laden gases shrouding Ross Island, naming it after Hades's personification. While its smoldering menace repelled early explorers, modern researchers flock to Antarctica's Mount Doom. What other wonders await revelation beneath Arabis's frozen carapace? Radar scans reveal a massive network of lava tubes running deep below its peaks, possibly created by past eruptions. If someday accessed, these subterranean chambers could disclose previously unknown Antarctic species and conditions to expand life's known extremes. Arabis has surely not yet fully unveiled all its obscure secrets. Number 8. McMurdo Dry Valleys. On the rare ice-free terrain of Antarctica's McMurdo Dry Valleys, an arid polar desert endures where no rain has fallen for over 2 million years. The National Science Foundation's McMurdo Station on Ross Island borders this Antarctic anomaly, a barren polar wasteland that resembles Mars more than Earth. Could clues to life on other worlds emerge from strange fossils and ecosystems evolving here in extreme isolation? Spanning over 4,400 square miles adjacent to McMurdo Sound, the McMurdo Dry Valleys constitute Antarctica's largest ice-free zone. Subjected to near-constant sunlight in summer and continual darkness in winter, the valley's fossil soils can reach blistering temperatures before plunging to -58 degrees Fahrenheit during long polar nights. Like Mars, McMurdo's soils are extremely salty, with high levels of iron, magnesium, and calcium. Some resemble battlements on Mars photographed by NASA orbiters. Meanwhile, briny lakes occasionally thaw inside the valleys, bearing striking semblance to frozen lakes inside Mars's giant Hellas impact basin. The uncanny similarities even extend to Mars's dry valleys and bizarre polar caps. Could Mars once have hosted oases similar to McMurdo for primitive life forms? Clues may persist in fossils like the mummified seal carcass found contorted in McMurdo's melt streams, desiccated by 40 miles per hour winds. Nearby, the Chartres rock formation's stratified slopes uncannily resemble sedimentary stacks imaged on the red planet. What past Martian deposits or organisms awaits discovery? Under Denton Glacier, Antarctica's blood falls cascade from an isolated subglacial pool, trapped for over 5 million years. This time capsule hints at McMurdo's potential for preserving ancient extinct species like Antarctica's fossil forests. Might snapshots of early Mars before its atmosphere thinned also persist? As climate change transforms Earth's continents, what revelations or reckoning could this polar cryosphere's collapse spur? Number 7. Methane under ice bubbles. Beneath Antarctica's resting ice giants, a climatic time bomb silently ticks. Scattered trapped within the frigid expanses are trillions of tons of methane, an incredibly potent greenhouse gas lurking in the shadows. Should this methane be unleashed en masse as climate change accelerates, severe global disruption could ensue. Methane poses over 25 times more potential per molecule to trap heat than carbon dioxide. Currently, shifting atmospheric circulation patterns are driving surface winds toward Antarctic ice margins, eroding protective snow insulation. This exposes blue ice areas darkened by past melt, vulnerable to new melting. Experts posit such newly formed coastal land slush and meltwater streams could penetrate deep fissures underlying Antarctica's ice sheets. This risks destabilizing methane reservoirs stabilized under pressure, located near active rock fault zones traversing the continent. Essentially, as the ice thins, the caps containing methane may rupture. Research stations dotting Antarctica already detect methane seeping constantly from small terrestrial seeps. But far more alarmingly, plumes of methane bubbling up from continental shelves were recently discovered in the Amundsen Sea. Offshore seeps here could signal the early stages of catastrophic methane venting from the Earth below, as warming seas encroach. The requirements are falling into place for irreversible methane blowouts along Antarctica's coastlines, as in Siberia's Arctic seabed. Once started, such global warming feedback loops may be practically impossible to halt. With methane unleashed and the genie out of the bottle, Antarctica's frozen interior could become new ground zero for runaway climate chaos. Number 6. Ancient Map of Antarctica. A faded relic crafted 500 years ago stirs modern intrigue over Antarctica's past. The Piri Reis map, drawn in 1513 by an Ottoman admiral, depicts South America's coastline with near-perfect accuracy. But most shockingly, it also shows the Antarctic continent in precise detail impossible for 16th-century cartographers to know. What ancient insight enabled this? Sourced from even older maps of mysterious origin, the fragmentary chart was discovered serendipitously in 1929. Geologists immediately noticed it defined Antarctic ice-free valleys, thin glacial regions, and subglacial mountains matching modern radar surveys. This cartographic precision, centuries ahead of Captain Cook's 1773 Antarctic sighting, utterly baffled experts. Some speculate the Piri Reis map indicates prehistoric Antarctic habitation before it froze, even suggesting ties to lost Atlantis. Viewed alongside other uncannily accurate archaic global projections like the Zeno map, it implies past cultures possessed advanced geomathematical and navigational prowess, rivaling today's satellites. Could secret history lurk beneath the ice? Mainstream researchers acknowledge the map includes genuine copies of Columbus's New World logs, but they insist human settlement near Antarctica before 1900 remains unrealistic, given inhospitable conditions. Some hypothesize Greek astronomers glimpsed the southern polar coast through primitive telescopes. Regardless, for now, the map's sources stay frustratingly opaque. Yet Antarctica keeps yielding shocking discoveries upending scientific assumptions, like preserved fossils and bloodfalls networks of lakes trapped under boundless ice. If past geological shifts rendered Antarctica habitable, who knows what remnants of bygone eras persist in its unexplored depths? As global warming peels back icy veils, how much human history will emerge along with visions of its future? Now it's time for today's subscriber pick. What Russian scientists discovered in Antarctica terrifies the whole world. Recently, while boring into Aurora Lake, they uncovered something shocking. Reports describe a colossal, squid-like monster, the likes of which have never been seen on Earth. While yet unverified, the claims spark imagination about what could lurk unseen in Antarctica's dark, isolated subglacial lakes after millions of years cut off from the outside world. Aurora Lake itself is an anomaly, a liquid freshwater lake located over 2 miles beneath the Antarctic ice cap. Untouched for 20 million years, this 15-million-year-old lake may have allowed unique species to evolve in complete isolation. But a giant aquatic invertebrate previously unknown to science? Most scientists would approach such accounts skeptically. However, history reveals many fantastical creatures once dismissed as exaggerations have later been proven true, like the platypus. What do you think? Could strange new creatures be hidden in Antarctica's icy depths? Let us know in the comments. Number 5. Ice Pyramid. Along Antarctica's endless icy horizons, a strange giant structure juts towards the heavens. Resembling an enormous four-sided pyramid, this enigmatic formation was spotted towering near the South Pole by a satellite imaging survey in 2006. Its symmetry and scale fuel conspiracy theories. Is it natural or evidence of hidden Antarctic inhabitants? The structure's triangular symmetry closely mirrors Egypt's ancient pyramids, begging obvious comparisons. It rises to a tapered peak over what resembles a buried square base. If artificial, it could indicate buried ruins from past advanced civilizations that possibly inhabited ice-free Antarctica millions of years ago, when it hosted rainforests. Some speculate the formations represent only the visible tips of a full man-made pyramid, entombed deep under the dense ice sheet. Conceivably first erected before Antarctica froze into a polar wasteland, such a relic would shake historical knowledge if excavated. Perhaps it even links to the mythical Atlantis, suggested to have capitalized on an Antarctic settlement. However, scientists propose more prosaic geological explanations for the pyramidal shape visible from satellites like Quickscat. Its four ascendant faces, resembling the tipped tops of Egypt's pyramids, indicate a natural landform molded by unusual erosion processes. Wind-sculpted ridge patterns, frost action, and stabilizing snowdrifts along edge slopes could create this deception. Dubbed the Pyramid, the Antarctic feature awaits definitive classification, but undoubtedly fuels speculation about Antarctica's past. It crystallizes a deep-seated human yearning for discovery in Earth's last unexplored frontierlands. What other strange formations remain obscured across Antarctic expanses? Only time and technology may reveal the truths still buried far below the ever-shifting surface. Number 4. Million-year-old DNA. Like insects in amber, Antarctica's frigid waters preserve biological samples across epochs, from icy brine pools in Taylor Glacier to sediment buried for ages offshore. Microscopic genetic codes now unlock Antarctica's climate past and future portents on evolutionary history. In an unprecedented feat, Australian researchers in 2022 managed to extract and sequence million-year-old environmental DNA from bottom deposits. Gleaned beyond the reach of sunlight 530 meters down in the Scotia Sea abyss, the sedimentary ancient DNA, or cd-DNA, represented Antarctica's oldest on record. At one point, 9 million years of age, compounds survived glaciations longer than Homo erectus walked upright. This biological sample contained ancient diatom and dinoflagellate species, phytoplankton forming foundations of aquatic food chains critical for carbon dioxide absorption influencing climate. Their DNA chronicles shifts in polar marine flora correlating to bygone temperatures, currents, and sea ice. Experts can now retrace ancient cooling patterns that transformed Antarctica from forest to ice cap. Sediment oozes slowly, so basal layers create astronomical DNA libraries spanning Antarctica back 30 million years. But there may be no second chances. Their reservoir of evolutionary wisdom accumulates over millions of years, yet could melt away within decades as encroaching warm circumpolar deep waters erode frigid underwater chai-binding DNA compounds together. What tales could thaw sediments expose before dissolving into obscurity? Will Antarctica's icy books, closing on past epochs like those that nourished dinosaurs, now reveal secrets that could rescue modern biodiversity as well? Sedimentary DNA may assist climate modeling to avoid irreparable harm, but these microscopic time travelers highlight that not all treasures brought to light free humanity. Number 3. Crystal City. In 1946, renowned American polar pioneer Admiral Richard Byrd revealed an astounding account of venturing alone into the untamed Antarctic territory. His private encounter beyond the Thiel Mountains with a mystifying crystalline city buried under the ice unveiled a deeper, transcendent reality governing existence itself. But what truly transpired? Byrd's tale unfolds like science fiction, a secret underground alien city, wise oracles, and UFOs zipping about. He described Antarctica's blue-hued buried landscapes filled with rainbow-flashing towers of crystal that linked minds across time and space. Byrd met an enigmatic tall master entity robed in gold who inexplicably spoke to him through telepathic understanding rather than verbal language. This being, eyes glowing with infinite wisdom, conveyed profound revelations over humanity's self-destructive path, eroding the living, vibrant essence underlying the universe. Bird's account has him pleading Antarctica's cause with political leaders upon returning. But whether his experience occurred in physical reality or an inner vision is debated. Skeptics demand material evidence. Yet inspirationally, Bird shifted Antarctic policies, spearheading international scientific cooperation and conservation for decades. Operation High Jump's leader brought 26 countries together, perhaps indicating unitive enlightenment rather than fanciful hallucination or hoax. Did Bird truly glimpse higher dimensions enfolded within nature's ordinary existence? Reality's essence remains far less graspable than ice itself. Number 2. Singing ice. Strong gusts traverse the vast snow plains that veil the colossal Ross Ice Shelf. This formidable frozen plateau is as large as France and holds a melodic secret. It sings. This surprising discovery occurred when installing seismic sensors to study Antarctic ice shelf stability. Researchers sought to monitor trembling that warns of coming collapses, opening new sea routes. But the instruments unexpectedly picked up a constant humming emanating from the frozen depths, the vibrations of the ice itself, singing. It turns out that currents of air sweeping over the Ross Ice Shelf's snow dunes generate constant surface oscillations detectable through seismographs across huge areas. Their ice-penetrating radar reveals these dunes undulating across approximately 13,000 square miles. Scientists compare the vibrations to a wind blowing steadily over the mouth of an open bottle. Researchers keep discovering new facets of Antarctica's songs, with analytical software decoding the source of its notes. Various ice shelves produce distinct tunes based on their size, temperature, scouring from ocean currents underneath, and even proximity to meltwater streams. Consequently, the music serves as an invaluable diagnostic tool for tracking ice shelf evolution in a rapidly changing climate. Having studied Antarctica's chorus for over 40 years, glaciologists confidently assess stability from its cadence, like a doctor listening to a patient's breathing. Alarmingly, as collapse events have recently accelerated continent-wide, an unsettling trend is emerging. The frozen symphony is shifting in tone, singing unprecedented stanzas. Pieces once smoothly conducted now clash in dissonant arrangements full of unnatural warm riffs. This disturbing ice shelf chorus warns of wrenching transformations underway in Antarctica. Perhaps one day, its timeless frozen melodies may fall silent if we fail to harmonize human activity with nature's fragile polar score. Number 1. Factoran Deep. In the frigid waters north of Antarctica, a pioneering manned submarine dove far deeper into the abyss than ever before. Novel limits of technology and human endurance were pushed to their very boundaries as explorer Victor Vescovo achieved the deepest dive in history, well over 5 miles beneath the waves. The expedition risked catastrophe to successfully reach what is now named Factoran Deep in December 2018. Voyaging solo over 7,000 meters down into the South Sandwich Trench, Vescovo piloted his purpose-built submersible limiting factor to the absolute southernmost point of the globe. In doing so, he equaled the height of Alaska's Denali climbed underwater. Only customized technology allowed a human to survive such punishing realms ruled by pressures over 1,000 times greater than at sea level. Most submarines implode under depths only half as extreme due to catastrophic hull collapse. Yet Vescovo emerged unharmed after 4 hours exposed to Antarctic waters enough to freeze flesh solid within seconds. Significantly, his 5 Deeps expedition completed comprehensive sonar scans, plus photographs and samples from the ultra-deep seabed. This established an initial foundation map revealing over 90% of global submarine terrain remains uncharted even today. It also located various new seamounts and canyons hidden below Antarctic ice that regulates worldwide currents. What other revelations await as technological limitations to accessing Antarctica's oceans keep receding? A wealth of meteorite deposits could litter incredibly ancient seabeds almost completely isolated for millions of years since creatures first developed bones. And as mysteries like Factoran Deep dive ever deeper, who knows what extraordinary discoveries they may dredge up next? Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.